I got my units without any encumbrance whatsoever. So that's a good sign, and we hope for the best. We wait with bated breath for what will come next. My name is Olive Monica Najuma, together with Julie Nantaba Mosisi and Chirabo Robert Nyonyintono. Now, yesterday, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni appointed Arthur Mujenyi as the new Director General for the Internal Security Organization. Now, this position had fallen vacant in on the 29th of January 2025 after the demise of General Charles Oluka, and so yesterday it was refilled. The president has also appointed Tony Chinyera Apechu, Deputy Director General of ISO, replacing Colonel Emma Katabazi, who has been transferred to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So yes, that's what's coming in from the Internal Security Organization, also known as ISO. However, on Eid Day, Sheikh Mobaje did call upon the government to shut down TikTok. Now, TikTok is an app where many young Ugandans create content and also have many followers. Others are selling their goods on the same app. But according to the Muft, he said that many people are spreading rumors, ruining people's brands, but also basically teaching and spreading pornography on the same app. I don't know what Julie thinks about that. Good morning.
Good morning, Olive. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for choosing to watch UBC TV. And speaking on the matters of TikTok, let's just look at a bit of statistics of TikTok and its usage in Uganda. As of November 2023, statistics show that 5.5 million Ugandans are on TikTok. 5.5, yeah. And with the majority being 18 to 24 years. Now keep in mind that Uganda is a young nation, mostly young as of last year's population census. Now 25 to 34 years old and also on TikTok, and a gender distribution of 56.9%, being a male, beating females who are at 43.1%.
Robert, what is your gender doing on TikTok?
The 18 to 24 who are on TikTok are 36.7%. Okay. And the 25 to 34 are 62.9%. Now, this is the age that is most active, most productive, even economically most impacting. And that is the one that is active on TikTok. That means they are using it for marketing their brands, endorsing brands, marketing brands, selling Uganda, doing different things on TikTok. Some, of course, doing the unspeakable. And the younger... The majority. And what if, just what if, looking at the statistics, the majority could be falling in the younger ages of 18 to 24. Just what if, you know? But also, like I said, males being the ones dominating TikTok. That is very interesting. But
well, Robert seems to be a Thomas, but I'll give you a moment, Robert. But the numbers you've shared, 5.5 million Ugandans being on TikTok, I'm so shocked because guess what? Before TikTok, the app that most Ugandans used was Facebook.
Yes.
And from what I see, only 2.05 million Ugandans are on Facebook. And those are, you know, the millennials. So most young people say that Facebook is for fossils, is for older people.
Gen Z, Gen Alpha, TikTok. And that is, Gen Z is what, up to 20, I think that now they are the young adults now.
Yeah, the Gen Zs are the young adults.
And the teenagers are the Gen Alphas.
No, some Gen Zs are actually teenagers still.
Oh,
yeah,
18?
Those born in 2007, born in 2006, born in 2008, they're still Gen Zs. Then we have the alphas from, I think, 2012. Yes, up until now. Well, Robert, a moment of realization has come to us. Why is your gender the most on TikTok? What are they doing on TikTok?
I've always told you that I'm worried of the kind of male we are raising in this country.
Why are you worried? People are making money on these apps.
we don't have enough time to do random sampling of any TikTok page, or just open up TikTok, and Uganda in particular, and on account of rolling about, are they called pages? 200 pages. We look at how many, randomly sampling, how many of those are using it to add value.
Now,
I'm very much against the banning of TikTok.
Yes.
I'm very much against it. Because if you have 5.5 million Ugandans on that, that is a big market. That is a big opportunity for even sensitization about diseases, because you're going to tap into this big audience.
But also, don't you think that it comes with the algorithm?
But the challenge, we cannot sit and say that something good, a platform is something very important.
Yes.
Media is very important.
Yes.
Now, us having failed to regulate or speak to these people and transform them into taking advantage of this cannot cause for a ban of this. That's why personally I'm against the words of the Mufti, Ramadan Sheikh Ramadan Mubaji, that you see, there are many people who are making good out of TikTok. There's so much I've bought myself.
From TikTok?
Yes, I've been scrolling and then I'm like,
I have a friend, I will honestly add my voice to Chiravo's voice. I have a friend who is running an online business on TikTok. All her sales on TikTok. And I'll tell you the truth, the lifestyle she has, the lifestyle she has given her child is because she's running that business.
No, I'm also
she
here.
has clientele in Nigeria, in Dubai, but she's here in Uganda, and she has, of course, Ugandan clients.
I sell my dogs on TikTok. And someone just goes out of the blue, you've never met them. I do my services on TikTok. I don't have like, maybe a guy markets, no. You just get a phone call from someone. Hello, are you so and so? I saw this, you have this breed. Can you deliver here? And you're like, okay, but let's send a deposit. So for me, anything to ban. You see, two wrongs do not make one right. What we can do is show these people opportunities of how to make money through TikTok. There are many youth that are there. And for my gender, I would say the boys are doing fair. But there is so much sensitization for the female gender as well on TikTok. Then lastly, you see, I have a friend of mine called Davis. He likes content. He always talks about content. He's my assistant producer here.
Hey, since
Now,
okay.
This young man, one time I asked him, but what makes people think they are going to talk obscenity, insult others, and then they are comfortable? He told me, Robert, this business is about likes. The more people like you, the more your page is viewed, the more you're going to get business. To advertise, to talk about these people. Because I had a query with him, he had a page and he was interviewing some people there, and I was like, what was this? These are drunkards. You said, no, I'm doing what people want for my page to grow. Now, the challenge you're having as Ugandans, we love obscenity, even mainstream media. Some shows today, the presenter must be almost half naked. You know, you must mention 2-3 things, attack somebody. You must mention 2-3 things, be a bit obscene.
Well, Robert,
but also, Olive, allow me just to say this. Also, do not forget that what you receive on your feed is based on your algorithm. TikTok will send you that because it's what you mostly consume.
So what comes into your feed, Robert, is exactly what you spend
what
time
you've shown them,
watching.
What you consume.
Yes, because I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. I do not see most of that the pornographic, the obscene content. I do not see it in my FYP. Why? Because that's not the content that I watch. So, Robert, what do you
Do you know how I get to see that?
What?
Someone tells you, Chidaba, can you believe a person on their phone?
And then you go and
or someone is on you're in another group, totally different things. Then, you're at a health concern. Check in a group, someone has posted, can you believe how Uganda has gone to that? Dogs or things like that.
So
not that on my
maybe what
page
we
I see
can
them, but I've gotten to understand that,
so maybe,
so this is
Robert, what we can
most
say
of the people
is that in as much as there is lots of benefits when it comes to TikTok, there is lots of benefits when it comes to social media. People are running businesses, people are connecting with people they would never have known because of social media. There is the other aspect. So probably instead of banning a total ban of the app in the country, honestly, we can't have that because many young people are gaining from it. Maybe there could be sensitization of the youth, and maybe there could be regulation of the content, because in China, where TikTok comes from, TikTok is actually used for beneficial endeavors. The people are sharing content on how to make apps and different things. So probably we could emulate that but not ban the app. Many people were running businesses on Facebook. When Facebook was banned, those businesses had to find another place to do business. Anyway, moving on, the National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, will kick off the nationwide renewal and enrollment of individuals for national identity cards this month of April. The process, which will run over the next several months, marks a key step in ensuring that every Ugandan citizen has access to proper identification. And according to Angela Bukira, the manager of human resources at NIRA, she revealed, and I quote, "We are officially opening the renewal and enrollment process to the public," she announced with confidence. And she said, "This announcement is not just a formality, it's the beginning of a mass mobilization effort aimed at reaching as many citizens as possible, particularly those who need to renew their expired IDs." The mass renewal and enrollment service comes with an important distinction. It is entirely free for those renewing their national IDs. This initiative ensures that this right is accessible to all without the burden of financial barriers. This marks a departure from previous initiatives where individuals had to pay fees for basic services, making the mass renewal process even more significant for Ugandans who may have previously been unable to afford the costs, she noted. And while the renewal process is free, there are specific fees for services like lost or damaged or altered national IDs. And according to Bukira, these fees are laid out in the law and can also be found on the NIRA website for transparency. And she says, if you've lost your ID, the fee is 50,000 shillings. If your ID is damaged, the fee is 200,000 shillings. And if there is a need to change particulars such as a name or address, the same fee applies. For more information, you can visit the NIRA website and see where you fall. Now let's move on and have the local stories.
Well, let's start with the Prime Minister, who toured roads in Kampala and expressed total disappointment. Now, while inspecting roads around Kampala that are under construction, Prime Minister Robert Nabbanja, accompanied by the Minister of State for Works Musa Echweru, the Minister for Kampala Misa Kabanda, Kampala Capital City Authority Executive Director Hajat Buzeki Sarafia, and KCCA engineers and contractors, she discovered inaccuracies like narrowness of roads, heaps of maram in the middle of roads. The Sarama Chirudu road that was supposed to be completed by January 2024 and be used during the Non-Aligned Movement Summit is still under construction. Minister Echweru said that the delayed construction processes and lack of forward maintenance was causing a lot of jam and congestion, leaving people of Kampala disgusted. Nabbanja demanded explanation and timeline for KCCA engineers, China Railway 18 contractors working on Salama Chirudu Road to ensure tight supervision. Meanwhile, Nabbanja inspected the Chinawataka drainage system, where about 2 people reportedly drowned in the recent heavy rains, and noticed blocked drainage channels due to garbage dumping. Houses built along drainage channels, whom she ordered to relocate immediately. However, those who built on the Kinawataka drainage channel said they are not ready to leave until fully compensated. The Presidential Affairs Committee has advised the Office of the Prime Minister, OPM, to ensure adequate collection of funds to the affirmative action plans and districts to improve service delivery to the beneficiaries. This follows a report from Minister Justin Kasule Lumumba on inadequate attention to the affirmative action plans. The ministry had appeared before the Presidential Affairs Committee to present a ministerial policy statement for the financial year 2025-2026. In the ministerial policy statement presented to the Parliamentary Committee on Presidential Affairs, the Office of the Prime Minister seeks 154.508 billion shillings for the financial year 2025-2026. The funding is for priorities such as economic empowerment of vulnerable groups across the country and monitoring government ministries, departments and agencies. The ministry also proposed an off-budget allocation of 24 billion shillings to support affirmative action initiatives in Karamoja and Luwero Triangle. However, the members of parliament were concerned over limited funding allocated for affirmative action plans. The increasing number of refugees in the country is a pressing concern. However, OPM has highlighted the need to address this issue. Ministers presenting Karamoja, the northern region and others have called for more funding and a larger resource envelope for the electorate to benefit from government initiatives. Now, finally, from the local scene, Democratic Party President General Norbert Mao has dismissed media reports implicating him and the party Secretary General Gerard Slander of hiking the nomination fees for the top party leadership positions to lock out some members from contesting against them in the forthcoming delegates conference. Norbert Mao was announcing the party guidelines to operationalize the renewal of the party leadership at the party offices in Kampala. Democratic Party President Norbert Mao told journalists that the alleged accusations are baseless reports aimed at tainting his leadership. Mao clarified that they have no powers to change the nomination fees as alleged, since the said nomination fees are set by the party National Executive Committee. He assured the party members that the nomination fees still stand at 5 million shillings and 3 million shillings for those intending to vie for the position of both the party president and the Secretary General respectively in their forthcoming delegates conference. He said the party is rebuilding structures starting with the grassroots leadership committee. The Democratic Party Organizing Secretary Herbert Rutagera explained that the party leadership renewal exercise that kicked off yesterday will run up to the 20th of April this year. 5 million, 3 million brings us to the end of our local stories. Poor out of politics.
Well, interesting. Well, coming up in international news, Zambia's president orders ministers to stop sleeping in cabinet. That will be coming up much later. But for now, the White House has confirmed that U.S. President Donald Trump will impose new tariffs this week, but it provided no details about the size and scope of the measures that have raised concerns of an intensifying global trade war. Trump kept rivals and allies alike guessing about who would be targeted and by how much, but promised to be very kind when announcing tariffs on Wednesday, which he has dubbed Liberation Day. In recent weeks, he has made several tariff announcements, then quickly changed tack on them. Global stocks remained volatile ahead of the so-called reciprocal tariffs, which Trump says are necessary to combat unfair trade imbalances with countries that target the United States. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said on Tuesday that Trump's tariffs will take effect immediately after he unveils them on Wednesday. The Republican leader, an advocate of tariffs for decades, said on Monday night that he had settled on a plan but refused to reveal its specifics. Now moving on, as the call to prayer rang out in Sagaing last Friday, hundreds of Muslims hurried to the 5 mosques in central Myanmar. They were eager to hold their last Friday prayers for Ramadan, just days away from the festive period of Eid that would mark the end of the holy month. Then at 12:51 local time, a deadly earthquake struck. 3 mosques collapsed, including the biggest one, Myanmar, killing almost everyone inside. Hundreds of kilometers away, the former imam of Myanmar Mosque, Soinei O, felt the quake in the Thai border town of Mae Sot. In the following days, he found out that around 170 of his relatives, friends and members of his former congregation had died, mostly in the mosques. Some were leading figures in the city's close-knit Muslim community. I think about all the people who lost their lives and the victims' children. Some of them are young children, he told the BBC. I can't hold back my tears when I talk about this. More than 2,700 people have died in the quake, which happened near Sagaing and Mandalay, Myanmar's second city. The death toll is expected to rise as rescuers continue to pull out bodies from the rubble. And finally, Zambian President Hakainde Hichilema has warned ministers against dozing off during meetings, attributing their lack of attentiveness to indulgence and an absence of self-control. In cabinet, somebody sleeping at 10 hours. The question is, where were they? 10 hours meaning 10 o'clock. If you can start conking there, to me, that is a crime, a serious crime, Hichilema said during a swearing-in ceremony for a new minister. He did not spell out what exactly he meant by indulgence, but local media have interpreted this as referring to excessive alcohol drinking and late-night partying. The president warned that such behavior risked exposing state secrets and delayed service delivery to the public. Hichilema won a landslide victory in 2021 with ambitious plans to turn around the economy of Africa's second-largest copper producer. Since assuming office, he has sacked several senior officials, including ministers, over performance issues. Speaking on Monday as he welcomed newly appointed minister.
Very interesting
well,
story. That.
No, he's not.
Them and they sleep. No. But when I was in Zambia, there is a club and I saw many VIPs there. I was at Taj Pamoza, it's called Jantemba. It's like a flat. Every floor plays different music. And Jantemba, if you've been in Zambia, it is a place you'll see.
Well, Robert, I don't know if you're a part of the dozing community or that
and
is
I was there with some ministers, maybe I never know.
Oh, wow, interesting. Anyway,
Julie, share with us what's in the news, in the press, really, in the press.
And before I do that, to our Zambian brothers and sisters, mulibwanje.
Okay.
But looking at what is in our press today, there is lightning headline there in the Daily Monitor, and that is new businesses to get 3-year tax break. I know, right? But in the Daily Monitor there, that is the headline, but also in our picture there, the new spy chiefs in town. And looking at the story of Director General Internal Security Organization, Arthur Mujenyi, who is the new ISO boss, and his deputies, Tony Chinyera Apechu. But in there, also in the Daily Monitor, still Umeme's next steps after handover. And it's an analysis story, but also road to 2026, 5 women seek to dethrone Kadaga from Kamuli MP seat. Now, the Lizard wonders, are there also interest-free loans to start the businesses? Asks the Lizard. But still in the Daily Monitor, we didn't tell Raila to go see Museveni over Machar in Juba. That is in the Daily Monitor. And worry as Lake Victoria water turns green with killer toxins. That's something to really worry about. But also there is an obituary. We miss Senkebe jazz music, and also there a bit of excel in PLE. But looking at the Daily Nation, the politics of handshakes. A disease for Africans, I must say. But pictures of all the 3 presidential contenders, 2 presidents so far. One has gotten close to the seat and the other has been a vice president and then afterwards fired from that seat. But moving on in the Daily Nation, Ruto and Raila are meddling with the reconstruction of IEBC team, claim opposition leaders. And Kenyan officials injured in clashes with Haiti gangs. And looking at matters education, reprieve for parents as court holds payment of school fees via e-citizen. But also in a sad story, I've been left without a single child. Pain, agony of widow after horror road accident. And that brings us to the end of what is in our press stories this morning.
Yeah, we will take a short break. And today being Wednesday, we crash on women. So here is Irene Namubiru with Nsimye.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Mweze mbuyagezi kuntakale Mwenandi balitwaho lwalere emitego tumbusisa nkumu Omukama kafananyi kali ngandi bubi Wenkajjukiro lwalero ekitibwa nkikuddiza Teguloje ku mukwano gwo Nze Mukama wanzija ku lubongo Kati ontuuza n'abakungu Wanerabiza emyaka Kiri ekyokusinda bango bakanyanga wano ne wali mujja nanye n'agende gyazaalwa bampisa bubi bangobera muli saalina mugaso gye baali naye ate onnewuunyisiza laba Mukama bw'ontuusiza buniza abasekerezi abayogeranga nti sirina kye ndi ndese kwebaza okankanyiza fuuyo mulabe wange ali wansi wa bigere byange mukumye nnyo sinye okumye okankanyiza fuuyo mulabe waliwo luno lwali luntute obumwe bwekomera nga bunesunze nga buli omu agusalira nze kanebe mmanyi mbakuba kalyonso mikutu gyonna gyogera ku nze ababe ensalwa nga balwesunze olwo lulikomya obulamu bwange naye wanzijayo Mukama wasalira ensonga amanya mazima tagulirirwa wamma n'okutuka okwo kutazibye eri esaala entonotono mukasirise omukono gwo gutayimpawadde wandokolayo Mukama ogwana kuyimusa ogwana kusinza ogwana nze ku bino by'ompadde ndese kwebaza ompadde okankanyiza enfuufu y'omulabe wange ali wansi wa bigere byange onkumye nnyo onkumye okankanyiza otasiza Mukama Vizeze okusomanga magero lwenzifunye zijja n'ebigambo naye wanjuna paka lwenamalako wakati mu mafumo g'ebigambo byabange bemanyi nakati bakola bukubirire okulaba nga
Take it to Be a beautiful beginning. Though for the people of Uganda, I don't know if it is a beautiful beginning, especially when it comes to the electricity transmission. Many parts of Kampala again did not have power last night. I don't know if these are the times we wonder about that the transition may cause some inconveniences or this will become the norm. Regardless, we'll wait to see what will happen henceforth. Though today I tried to test standby power and actually it went through. I got my units without any encumbrance whatsoever. So that's a good sign, and we hope for the best. We wait with bated breath for what will come next. My name is Olive Monica Najuma, together with Julie Nantaba Mosisi and Chirabo Robert Nyonyintono. Now, yesterday, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni appointed Arthur Mujenyi as the new Director General for the Internal Security Organization. Now, this position had fallen vacant in on the 29th of January 2025 after the demise of General Charles Oluka, and so yesterday it was refilled. The president has also appointed Tony Chinyera Apechu, Deputy Director General of ISO, replacing Colonel Emma Katabazi, who has been transferred to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So yes, that's what's coming in from the Internal Security Organization, also known as ISO. However, on Eid Day, Sheikh Mobaje did call upon the government to shut down TikTok. Now, TikTok is an app where many young Ugandans create content and also have many followers. Others are selling their goods on the same app. But according to the Muft, he said that many people are spreading rumors, ruining people's brands, but also basically teaching and spreading pornography on the same app. I don't know what Julie thinks about that. Good morning.
Good morning, Olive. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for choosing to watch UBC TV. And speaking on the matters of TikTok, let's just look at a bit of statistics of TikTok and its usage in Uganda. As of November 2023, statistics show that 5.5 million Ugandans are on TikTok. 5.5. Yeah. And with the majority being 18 to 24 years. Now keep in mind that Uganda is a young nation, mostly young as of last year's population census. Now 25 to 34 years old and also on TikTok, and a gender distribution of 56.9%, being a male, beating females who are at 43.1%.
Robert, what is your gender doing on TikTok?
The 18 to 24 who are on TikTok are 36.7%. And the 25 to 34 are 62.9%. Now, this is the age that is most active, most productive, even economically most impacting. And that is the one that is active on TikTok. That means they are using it for marketing their brands, endorsing brands, marketing brands, selling Uganda, doing different things on TikTok. Some, of course, doing the unspeakable. And the younger... The majority. And what if, just what if, looking at the statistics, the majority could be falling in the younger ages of 18 to 24. Just what if, you know? But also, like I said, males being the ones dominating TikTok. That is very interesting. But
well, Robert seems to be a Thomas, but I'll give you a moment, Robert. But the numbers you've shared, 5.5 million Ugandans being on TikTok, I'm so shocked because guess what? Before TikTok, the app that most Ugandans used was Facebook.
Yes.
And from what I see, only 2.05 million Ugandans are on Facebook. And those are, you know, the millennials. So most young people say that Facebook is for fossils, is for older people.
Gen Alpha, TikTok. And that is Gen Z is what, up to 20, I think that now they are the young adults now.
Yeah, the Gen Zs are the young adults.
And the teenagers are the Gen Alphas.
No, some Gen Zs are actually teenagers still.
Oh,
Yeah,
18?
those born in 2007, born in 2006, born in
That's
2008,
still
they're still
Gen Z.
Gen Zs. Then we have the alphas from, I think, 2012.
Yeah.
Yes, up until now. Well, Robert, a moment of realization has come to us. Why is your gender the most on TikTok?
on TikTok.
What are they doing on TikTok?
I've always told you that I'm worried of the kind of male we are raising in this country.
Why are you worried? People are making money on these apps.
We don't have enough time to do random sampling of any TikTok page, or just open up TikTok, and Uganda in particular, and on account of rolling about, are they called pages? 200 pages. We look at how many, randomly sampling, how many of those are using it to add value.
Now,
I'm very much against the banning of TikTok.
Yes.
I'm very much against it, because if you have 5.5 million Ugandans on that, that is a big market. That is a big opportunity for even sensitization about diseases, because you're going to tap into this big audience.
But also, don't you think that it comes with the algorithm?
But the challenge, we cannot sit and say that something good, a platform is something very important.
Yes.
Media is very important.
Yes.
Now, us having failed to regulate or speak to these people and transform them into taking advantage of this cannot cause for a ban of this. That's why personally I'm against the words of the Mufti Ramadan Sheikh Ramadan Mubaji, that you see there are many people who are making good out of TikTok. There's so much I've bought myself.
From TikTok?
From
Yes,
TikTok's
I've been
influence.
scrolling and then I'm like, someone
I
34
have
points.
a friend, I will honestly add my voice to Chirabo's voice. I have a friend who is running an online business on TikTok. All her sales on TikTok. And I'll tell you the truth, the lifestyle she has, the lifestyle she has given her child is because she's running that business.
No,
On
I'm
Tik-
also
she
here,
has clients.
ground, physically, not being told or told what was happening there. Now, one, why start opening up every area at the same time? One would say, and this is truth, that some of these roads are done on loans. If you remember, where by then it was Simon Kasiate who came here and told us we've received a loan from the, is it Africa Development Bank?
Yes,
now,
I remember.
Most of these times there are plans to work on these roads and there is no money. Now, money comes at the same time. And of course, you know, when you have money, you have to spend it. You don't want to return it to the treasury for failure to absorb during that financial year. Or there are terms and conditions for this money. So money comes at the same time. Now, they begin allocating projects to contractors, which is dangerous because, like you mentioned, here you're messing up the soil composition, here you're opening up, here you're widening, then or you're destroying the entire almost ecosystem. Now, that is one, the money coming at the same time. Two, the mistake of giving one contractor so many contracts. In that meeting, one official from KCCA, I withhold his name and title, told the Prime Minister when pinned seriously, she said, but Prime Minister, what do you want us to do when one company is given about 18 contracts? They are doing this not very good work, here not very good work, but for somehow, I caught because he was on camera and well captured, for somehow one company is given almost all the roads. Now, how do you explain that? Is it lack of manpower? Is it lack of ability? Because these roads, I believe even we could have, we've had so many trained people. We have the UPDF engineering brigade. Why give one particular company a number of roads in Kampala when knowing that when you have so much to do, you may fail to execute it properly? Then also the fact of the rain season coming in. Of course, these are some of the factors that have delays. And the other thing is these issues of compensation, Olive. Compensation has become compensation. One time we had a law that was compulsory. It was a bill. I remember hosting Honorable Dr. Chris Bariomunso on one of our radio stations very early in the morning. I don't know where that bill went. He was talking about compulsory land acquisition. That if we come to you and say, Najuma, when you look around, this plot of land is 60 million Uganda shillings. You don't take us back to the Tema Angalo thing, willing buyer, willing seller. You know, you say, no, mine is $1 billion shillings. We give you the money, or we put it on an account. The process goes on. If you feel offended, you go to court, because you bring a government valuer. Now, if the government valuer or court says yes, you gave Olive 60 million, but Olive's piece of land, according to the value and what we've discovered, is 80 million, then government adds you the 80 million. Now, let me give you an example of Chinawataka drainage channel. People have built on this drainage channel. The Honorable Minister says you must leave immediately. The residents say, apana, unless you compensate us. Now, if you're to compensate those people, a person will have a kafane house and say, maybe, for me, I'm worth 100 million. And you have no proper regulation. My piece of land moving up here. So compensation becomes a problem. Coupled with that, money has come, we must spend it, we must do. Then finally, lack of proper supervision. How would you tell me that the Salama Munyonyo Road was supposed to be used by NAM? Remember when we had the NAM, Non-Allied Movement here? That road, that works, it was supposed to be completed in January 2024. Now, we are in April 2025. Your KCCA, what have you been doing to this contractor? A span of a whole year.
Well, thank you so much, Robert. Now, Julie, help us go back a bit. Please provide to us an overview of the recent floods in Kampala and, of course, their impact on the city's infrastructure. What specific areas were most affected by the recent floods?
Now, last week was quite a story of the floods, and social media was ablaze. Social media was set ablaze with areas like Lugogo, Mutundwe, that Mutundwe Road to Wankulukuku, Kenru Chamuzi area, Bata Zana. Wow. Queensway, Mawanda Road. And we saw cars literally stuck in a pool or a lake of water last week, and this was due to floods. And I actually loved the conversation we had with the head of communications at KCCA regarding the same issue, floods and the roads in Kampala. And he mentioned quite a bit of highlights there, which included us as the users of these roads as being the problem as well, in terms of littering anyhow, anyway, and without caring where we deposited our trash and all of that, thus blocking the trenches, which was quite a highlight. And in fact, he's mentioned that 1st April, they'll be arresting anyone who trespasses with the quadrangles. But away from the rabbit hole, the floods really affected businesses. We saw homes collapse, those who have homes within floody areas. We saw businesses damaged, wood and carpentry businesses, that, you know, merchandise was all filled up with water. It was quite a mess. And right now people are on recovery processes of which they don't even know how to recover. You know, insurance problems in Uganda that come there.
Many businesses are not insured.
Many businesses are not insured, but even those that are insured, it's quite a process. It's quite hectic to get there. And clearly, when you talk about the floods, I'm reminded of a few roads that are always damaged by the heavy rains due to soil erosion, and they are always, what's the word? They are always patched every now and again by KCCA.
Now the patches were also ruined because of the rain. Yes,
exactly. Case in point is one around the Jennifer Musisi fountain, around Watoto Church. That road is always patched every now and again.
This is the middle of town.
It's in the middle of town.
This is the central business district.
Yes.
where we
Yes.
have trailers, where we have cars, where we have motorcycles, to
Yes.
mention but a few,
Yes.
all plowing this route.
Every now and again, it's patched. At least you'll see it being patched thrice a year.
Okay.
And then the rain destroying it
At least
again.
that's the
Okay,
step.
now going away from, okay, there is the rain,
Yes.
then there is the poor road usage,
And construction.
but also there is the construction, the patches. I will still ask you, but you, Robert, you can also weigh in, but I'll go to Julie first. Do you think that whenever we have situations of this nature, I'll give you an example. Last year, I don't know I don't know the dynamics of Kenyan politics and how they do their things, but I want to give an example. Last year, they had flooding in the city because of they had massive rains where it would rain from morning to night for like 7 days non-stop. We had rain for 1 day.
Yeah, and it was said that that rain was supposed to have poured for a week, but
Aha.
it all poured in 1 day.
Yes, it poured in 1 day. Now, if we can get to this every time it rains, should we really be only saying, oh, poor usage of the roads by the road users, or we need to get back to the grassroots of what was not done well? The question here is, are the roads being well constructed? Are the contractors given these jobs doing the right thing? How many layers are supposed to be on the road? How many layers are they putting?
When you say that, allow me backtrack a bit. When you say poor road usage, it would actually beg us to understand as Ugandans how best are we supposed to use the roads. But that is a story for
Do we
another.
know how
Do we
best?
know how best we are supposed to use the roads? Do we know which vehicles we are supposed to have on our roads that are constructed and given to us? But that, I guess, should come from an expert. But if you look into the fact that it's foreigners who are helping us construct these roads, number one, there are problems of limited oversight, right? There's a disconnect between the Chinese companies and the government. The Chinese companies are on ground. They are getting their hands dirty. While different officials in the government are not on ground to see that...
Sorry to interject.
Yes.
These officials are not only on ground, but do they even know what to supervise? Do we employ the right people?
Yes.
I'm
Thank you
asking
for
these
that.
questions because they look obvious, but they may not be
Yes,
that
so
obvious.
the project implementers have a different perspective because they are on ground, while those who are employing them to implement also have a different perspective. But let's also look at limited control by the local government. By the time the government has chosen this Chinese company, it's because they expect them to be experts. And because they are experts, they also come with their own terms and conditions. So that means that they have their own operational standards by which they are going to operate on ground, which I doubt the official from representing government actually is following up. Was this discussed at the time of the procurement process, that this Chinese company is what it's offering, is it a give or take, right? But also look at quality concerns. Some Chinese companies have been accused of cutting corners to save time and
money.
costs.
Okay.
Because it's their company, they are looking at all possible ways of making
a
a profit.
Yeah.
And I doubt if on ground there's anyone supervising each and every day to make sure that probably this stone was poorly placed, and that stone is wasting a lot of government money. Let it be changed.
So Julie, are you saying, because let's face it, let's call a spade a spade, Chinese are good at this construction
Yes.
thing, right? Do you think that because we know they are good at what they do, we are lazy or complacent when it comes to supervision, because we know at the end of the day they will do what they're supposed to do? That's question one. Now question
Yes.
two, which maybe Robert will answer later, feasibility studies. Do they do the feasibility studies on different areas so that they know that what worked in Masaka or along Masaka Road in Luera may not actually work in Mukwano side? Do they do that, or they just construct? Because I mean, these are foreigners at the end of the day. We have different climate than theirs when, you know, back home. So is there a feasibility study that is done? Robert, you'll come in later with that. But Julie, let's go back to the first question.
Yes, indeed. And when you think about the reality of the government officials, I believe right from the processes of the executive, parliament, all down to the implementation. I believe these steps are taken right. But somewhere, someone will drop a ball. An engineer might not be a steward good enough to actually know that they are supposed to follow up. Perhaps there's an issue of corruption in there. Because they helped the contractor get the deal, because they helped someone somewhat get something within that whole process, before you know it, a ball is dropped. So I believe that the right channels are taken, but somewhere in between there, someone drops the ball. That cannot be denied.
You did say that the Chinese, it's been found in some cases that they cut corners to save time and money. Who is teaching them to be this confident in being corrupt in a country that is not their own, where they've been given a job?
If you say who's teaching them, I believe the Ugandans. You only learn a habit when you realize, you only get comfortable and complacent when the person you found in their home is as equally comfortable and complacent.
Okay.
You also go ahead and
now, Robert, on feasibility studies. Yes.
Thank you, Olive, and of course I want to thank Julie for some of the points she pointed out right. And a quick one, even if I go to feasibility study. One, all our road plans, the projects, at least I've been privileged to look at some of the project layout, how the road is going to be. I must assure Ugandans they are very good and very accurate. Now, what happens is implementation. These are experts that we are using. And don't forget, under the Public Procurement Act, these Chinese companies do what we call subcontract. Now, during subcontracting, this is where the mess starts. That the law directs them to subcontract a Ugandan company. For example, you're doing the road, but the provider of the Mara is a Ugandan
outsourced
company. You're doing the road, maybe the provider of some machines that you're going to use, key materials, must be a Ugandan. Now, you're constructing, there's that element where you bring in us. And the biggest challenge we have, that is why one of the engineers in KCCA asked the Prime Minister, what do you want me to do when a company A that didn't perform very well has almost 18 contracts of these roads? Asking himself, but you know that there is something right from the onset that is not going on very well. Because what are we having? Hitting deadlines. How do you, as a technocrat, as an expert, come and say, yes, you need a road to be done by the non-allied summit time, we shall deliver. You even launch that road. Now, you fail to deliver, a year later you're nowhere to completion. You've not even given us 80% to be comfortable. Two, the quality. The plan shows that the tunnels are going, the drainage channels are going to be covered. So the dumping you're talking about will not happen, because I don't know if you've seen those, a few of those that have been constructed like that, that you can even walk on that. Water can pass under, but on top, that is the plan. Covered. Now, when the road is finished, the drainages are left open, so we can dump freely.
We may not even dump, but when we dump wherever we stay, when we have rain, then it washes everything into the drainage system.
Yes.
You say you're going to put a sieve that when this comes, it won't go through the drainage. By the time the road is finished, you didn't put that. So, supervision, and I must say corruption, that Olive, if I've influenced you to get that contract, because I know, for you when you get contracts, you sublease my company. This getting of contracts and subleasing, transparency is becoming a problem. Public procurement, how people get these contracts, must be investigated. Supervision and monitoring. How would you tell me you did shoulder work, but we are again giving you another contract and another and another and another? You're delivering. You're delivering behind. You're not hitting the deadlines you're giving us, but you're the contractor we are giving. So unless there is supervision, effective supervision.
Yes.
Public, the law requires that if you're going to construct a road, there is a billboard for transparency. Tell us, government of Uganda is the client, this amount of money that you are putting in, who is the contractor, duration, stretch, how long are you going to work, and empower the local communities to be able to hold these people accountable. But without these things being put in place, we are still going to have the same contractors, because this is obvious. Najuma, if you have a company, and I'm here, I'm the foreigner in this country, maybe you also sourced me to come to Uganda, and you say you get it is automatic that I'll end up giving you that, okay, the cooking is yours for my people. Maram, find where to get the maram.
It's a case of who pays the piper,
yes,
calling the tune.
All these, if someone is making noise there and has to report to you, Najuma, just pick a call, so and so. This, the president may pass there. That's why when you see His Excellency passing or coming to visit a certain area, sometimes people grade us. Why don't you let him see the actual picture on ground?
I've seen that even in my neighborhood. It is misrepresentation. So the president thinks something different is happening on the ground, and something else is happening according to the people who actually live there.
A few people who are trying to save themselves at the expense of
the community.
Well,
we have some comments, and this one says, good morning, Olive, Julie and Robert. Road construction delays because of he says trenches. Most of our trenches are in a sorry state and very dangerous. With our poor garbage disposal, you find blockages that have to be worked on before construction, and it delays processes. Secondly, the alternative routes still are poor, so vehicles are left with no option apart from using the very roads that are under construction, which also slows down the construction process. Lastly, corruption also is a big factor. Remember, when the budget is passed and money is given out, it passes through different bodies before it reaches the construction companies. And then he says, you know what I'm what tells you that I know what you're talking about? Anyway, this is from Cricket Derek Gagamel from Makinde Luafu. And then the next comment is from Muimbwa Abdul. He says, we are losing a big budget on the roads in Uganda, not because the government is taking Adam on rehabilitation and management. Okay, not because the government is giving a damn on rehabilitation and management, but the housing construction along the roads where one constructs the house with no water tanks and let the waters from the roof direct onto the driveway, hence eroding the roads. Julie, your parting shots in response to these comments.
Now, my parting shots would be, as Ugandans, let's, as the government, as stakeholders really, let's look forward to empowering each other as Ugandans in being very involved and highly involved in everything that matters to Uganda. So even if it's road construction, let's not leave it to the Chinese completely. Let our hands get dirty. Even from the officials, from the government, let your hands get dirty and be a part of the process.
Well, thank you so much, Julie. Robert, your parting remarks in response to these comments.
Government should invest so much in monitoring and supervision. People who are believing to sit in offices and do work on social media looking at coordinates and progress should leave. There are many Ugandans who want to work. Let's be very honest. So if you can't deliver, then feel free to go into farming and agriculture or personal business. Because you can't tell us a road that was supposed to be finished in January 2024. People of Salama Road, I pass there, Olive, they are suffering. They are suffering. Please, if you can't, quit. Graduates are coming out every year in engineering.
That seems like a hard paper, but regardless we move, hopefully those who have ears have heard the calls and pleadings of Julie and Robert. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. Now we'll take a short break. When we come back, Zakia Lucky will be taking us through Good Morning Uganda Tourism Express, and we will be focusing on religious tourism, why the Uganda martyrs were killed. Enjoy.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a SACCO, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Where we were was just inside the shrine, and it was dedicated to all the Uganda martyrs. Not all of them were killed from here, but it is a dedication to all the Uganda martyrs, and it is the exact spot also where Kaloli Ranga was killed, just where we were standing. There's no such remain, but there was a bone that they got to show us, which you can get to find. Now, when you come outside, we have the demonstration of everything that is inside just behind us, and that is what we are going to dive into right now, again with Ben. He's going to still tell us about the demonstration, why we have it here, and the surroundings around it.
Still again, my name is Ben Tenywa. in charge of the tourists and pilgrims at the Uganda Matters Catholic Shrine in Mugongo. Now where we are here is a demonstration of what we saw inside the shrine. This is a demonstration showing how the leader, Charles Lwanga, was killed. Charles Lwanga, or Kaloli Lwanga, was the leader of all the Uganda Matters. So he was tied, he was wrapped in mat reeds, firewood. You see, somebody is lighting the fire, another one is adding on more firewood. The fire came from feet to head while still alive. And he told them, you are burning me, but it is as if you are pouring water over my body. You have not tied me well. Leave me and I tie myself so that you can burn me. Gandhi told the king, he has killed me for nothing. Let him repent. If he does not repent, I'll be the accuser before God. Mother Mary is a patron of this place. That's why they have put a whole image of Mother Mary. And those people were kneeling, we are praying for Charles Lwanga, Kaloli Lwanga, who was in the fire burning, that he may go to heaven. So this is what took place.
And sorry to cut you short. So the people that were kneeling, were they also Uganda Matters?
They were also Uganda Matters, but the church believes they were already in heaven. They were killed first, praying for this man who was still in the fire burning. Now here, there is some bit of history. You see? King Mutesa I. Mutesa I was the one who invited the missionaries. He was the one who wrote the letter inviting the missionaries to come to Uganda. He wrote it to Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria. That letter was taken in England by Leonard Benfield and was published in a newspaper called the Daily Telegraph of England on the 14th of April, 1875. So missionaries started coming, first Anglicans in 1877. Again, the Catholics came on 17th of February, 1879. Father Simeon Ludel and Brother Amanes. Here they are landing at Chigungu near Entebbe Airport. When they landed on the soil of Uganda, they knelt down, they prayed, asking God to bless their missionary work. They dedicated this country to Mary, Mother of Jesus. They went to the palace, where they got the king, Mutesa I, who gave them a house where they were staying. They went to the palace here in Lubaga. At Lubaga, they were given at the palace. They were given permission to teach Christianity. They were given land at Nabulagala. Nabulagala. You see? Now after this, Mutesa died. When Mutesa died, his son Mwanga succeeded him. Now it was King Mwanga who killed the Uganda Matters. Why? He accused them of being disobedient because on Sunday they were not working. They were going for prayers. Now the king thought they are becoming disobedient. So he accused them of being disobedient. Number two, he accused them of being rebels. The way they were praying, let your kingdom come. The king thought, which kingdom is that? I'm the king here. How can they say their king is in heaven? He regarded them as rebels. And treason was punishable by death. Arabs were here. Arabs were dealing in slave trade. When the missionaries came, they were telling the king slave trade is evil. Now the business got interrupted. For that matter, Arabs started influencing the king to kill. Christianity also preached against witchcraft. People stopped going to the witch doctors to get solution for their problem. The witch doctor lost market. They also telling the king to kill. Arabs were telling the king to kill. Witch doctors were telling the king to kill. Prime Minister Mukasa was telling the king to kill. Now the king told the Uganda Matters, if you don't leave Christianity, I'm going to kill you. They said, you kill us, we are not going to leave. Now they were arrested from Kampala, Munyonyo. They came on killing. At Munyonyo they killed the three. Then Sebugwa, Posiano, Ngondwe, and Ukagwa. They just cut off their hands, legs, and scattered the pieces. All the Kampala, they killed Matia Mulumba. Owino Market, they killed Balikudembe and the Bazekere. When they are about to cheer, they killed Gonzaga. The rest were brought here at Namugongo and burnt like this. You see? They were burnt like this. See? They were wrapped in matrix. See, these are heads. These are heads. These are heads. They were wrapped in matrix, firewood, and the fire was lit from feet to head, while they were still alive. Some people were cut. Some people were speared. So It was on the 3rd of June, 1886, 137 years ago. Now, whenever this day comes, 1 million people come. We don't pray in the church, we pray on the lake. We go there to see.
Okay. We started from the shrine itself in the inside, getting to see the remain that was the bone of Kaloli Ranga, who was killed at the exact spot where we were. There were paintings, of course, and pictures of the Pope who came to cleanse the place after it had been put in place while construction was still taking place. But there were also pictures of each Uganda martyrs. Remember, the shrine was a dedication to all of them, all the Uganda martyrs. And shortly after that, we got to the place outside that just depicts all that is inside. You also got to see it has pictures on the side that shows the kings who wrote the letter, how Mutesa wrote the letter to Queen Victoria, and of course the process to Mapera until Kabaka Mwanga, who killed these martyrs. But we are not stopping yet. We are also heading to the lake and get to know what's there for us. Remember, we are still talking about religious tourism, and this one is dedicated to the Catholics. We are still in the Lent period, and this is the 3rd week. I'll be waiting you to join me as we continue to exhaust religious tourism with the Catholics. We'll be starting exactly at the lake and getting to see what's also there regarding the Uganda matters.
Good morning. Julie Nantaba Musisi is my name, and time to look at JMU Business. Uganda Revenue Authority projects to collect 36.71 trillion shillings financial year 2025-2026. Now, while presenting the ministerial policy statement in the Committee of Finance, the Minister of Finance in charge of general duties, Henry Musasizi, said that they expect to collect not less than what they collected last year because they assume that the economy will grow. Now, the Ministry of Finance has presented the ministerial policy statement for the financial year 2025-2026 to the Parliamentary Committee of Finance. That indicates total domestic revenue projections to be 35.692 trillion shillings, and this represents a growth in revenue target of 4.323 trillion shillings, indicating 13.78%. Members of Parliament like Kateshumbwa wanted the team to give them assurance that the budget they are giving is based on proper assumptions. Some wanted responses on enforcement and compliance in cases where a shop is shared by many people. The chairperson of the committee, Amos Kakunda, wanted officials to explain to the committee efforts done to ensure traders understand what IFRIS is, because many still think it is a tax. Musasizi explained to the committee the assumptions they have that revenue will increase by 13% financial year 2025-2026, and the others discussed include taxing all exports and how porous borders are being handled. Now, in case you do not know yet, as you buy your light units in this month of April, the Electricity Regulatory Authority has announced a 14% tariff reduction with optimism of attracting the public towards different categories of electricity usage. Now, the reduction has come at a time of transferring power distribution from the private company Umeme to the government-owned Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited. The announced end-user tariffs, as updated quarterly by the Electricity Regulatory Authority, indicate a tariff reduction of 14%. The regulator explains factors gravitating tariffs movement, which among others include appreciation of the Uganda shillings against the dollar and attainment of the priorities in the National Development Plan, especially industrialization. Now, in the reviewed tariffs, Lifeline tariff stands at 250 shillings, domestic at 756.2 shillings per unit, commercial tariff stands at 546.4 per unit, and other adjustments. The review has come at a time when UEDCL just assumed power distribution in parameters initially operated by a private company, which is Umeme Limited. The full ownership of government gives the public hope of further tariff reduction. Now, the UEDCL tariff performance targets to have a downward curve movement as the electricity demand is expected to increase proportionate to the expected government investment in electricity extension. Now, finally, looking at DFCU's financial for the full year 2024, showing positive results despite recording low private sector credit. The bank released its full year results at their headquarters in Kampala, and Development Finance Company of Uganda Bank Limited has recorded increased business activity due to the growth of its customer transactions in 2024. Now, despite seeing a low credit supply to private sector, it's lent a healthy sum to government through bonds. The bank's financials show that COVID-19 pandemic put its non-performing assets at 16%. However, the fresh team of managers that have been recruited since 2023 at the bank have strived to lessen the non-performing assets to 4% by 2024. There is a record increase in online transactions by 37%, and the bank has to maintain its earning per share for its shareholders to sustainably benefit from its public offering status. The figures for year 2024 indicate substantial growth as demonstrated by tangible impacts such as the DFCU Foundation support for 27,000 farmers nationwide. This initiative has enhanced their financial inclusion by making them bankable and credit-worthy. Now, looking into our forex rates today, as of 1st April 2025, the dollar was buying at 3,655.91 and selling at 3,665.91, and by midday it was at 3,654.00, dropped a bit of value there, and selling at 3,664.00. It closed in at 3,650.95 and selling at 3,660.95. The pound was at 4,720.31 and selling at 4,733.24. The Kenyan shilling was at 28.24 and selling at 28.31, and the Tanzanian shilling was buying at 1.38 and selling at 1.39. Finally, the South African rand was buying at 198.94 and selling at 199.49. Well, that's it from GMU Business today. Good Morning Uganda does continue, and the agenda is up next.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. networks could be dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the MyMTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the Parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a SACCO, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
I'd love to take this opportunity to thank our President, Yoweri Kaguta Trihabura Museveni, by coming up with a Myoga program. We started in 2021 as Kasumi Parish Carpenters and Myoga SACCO. When we received this amount of 30 million, we had a problem, we had a challenge of machines. We used to carry our wood and we would carry it up to Waise to be worked on. So when we got this chance, we are able to buy machines to ease our work of carpentry. At the moment, we are a number composed of 140 members. We have the women who come in and do saloon chairs. We have the men doing 3-drawer tables, 2-drawer tables, and different kind of furniture. Before the Myoga program came in, we had a lot of crimes taking place on this road. When this Myoga program came up, we managed to collect these youths. We gave them hope that you can change from stealing, and we can give you skill so that you be someone in the society that will even help another person.
Kansoke ddala okwebaza omukulembeze w'eggwanga olw'emirimu emirungi gy'ataddemu ngaffe abavubuka. Nze nno nze omu ku abo abaabeeranga ku kkubo okwo emisana n'ekiro ng'oluusi olw'okuba naffe tunoonya ekyokulya nga gwa kiyina oba mmwe twakiyitanga b'amalala bagenda beerabisa nga tubagwamu munnange era nga tuba tulina obbikuggyako naffe ne tubaawo. Naye munnange neebaza kyamani wange wa wano yankwatako nno wamu ne bannange twatandika okukozesa mashini zino tandika okuwawula okulanda okukola dizayini emmeeza zino tuzifulumya entebe bwe ziti tulina emirimu gyotutandikirako emyangu okugeza ng'okufulumya obumotoka buno kano akamotoka n'omwana omuto w'emyaka 5 akafulumya bw'ova mu kufulumya akamotoka kano owawula okukwata oluwawu n'owawula emmeeza ng'eno n'ebeera smooth oluvaawo nga bakutwala ku mashini eno olubaawo lukole bwoti bwe ntyo ndi wa mukisa byonna saabisasulira najja wano ne baŋŋamba President Museveni bino ebyuma yabituwa byammwe mulina okuba nga mubikozesa omukisa ne ngutwala era neebaza kuba kati newe mba nvudde wano ne ŋŋenda ewalala newe ŋŋenda Sudan nsobola okusigala nga ndi mulimu gwe gumu ogw'obubazi ne gumbeezaawo wamu ne famire yange ku sevingi wange bimu ku byentereka bwe bampa akasente kange nfulumya emmeeza yange eno bino kiri wano si kya kiyamaani waffe nedda wano tulinawo itemu zaffe kati ku ssaawa eno zonjogera wano ninawo emmeeza ezange 5 n'entebe 12 ezitambulira ku mmeeza ezo nga zange era nga zo ne baba bazituuze wali sente baziwanze oluusi emirimu n'emirala ne gijja ne bagala twafunye omulimu bwe guti mujje mufulumye entebe wano zino bwe ziti mugakola sente bwe kityo emyoga gino okuba nagyegattako bingi byenfunye edda nze nalinga sisobola kusasula nnyumba gye mbeeramu era nja kunoonya gye ŋŋenda okusula mu mifulejje era eyo mifulejje gye ŋŋenda okusanga ote oli ajja atamidde nga ye atalina n'essimu gy'amulisa kale ebintu ng'ebyo nze kati ninawe nsula era saawa eziwera nti zino saawa zakwebaka olwo nga nsimbula nga ŋŋenda neebaka nawasa tadde n'abaana nno munnange sebo kulembeze weebale bageto yuti mwenna gye muli wabweru eyo temutya temwerumaluma nkata temudda mu biki temulobera mu projekiti za gavumenti kuba zino projekiti ziriwo kutuyamba ffe zaffe zirina kutuyimusa kututeeka ku ddaala ddala bwe lwonazoberamu abalala bazeegaseemu ffe nga tukola ki bweiba bwe bityo.
Because of this Emyoga program, we have been able to pick such different youth, mentor them, we train them. After learning, they also go up, even start their businesses. We have people buying from us, schools, we have factories, companies. They come and give us very juicy contracts. And out of that, that's how we've managed to accumulate this amount of saving of 70 million. So I would love to thank the President of Uganda that because of the Emyoga program, we've done what they call mindset change. Those who used to think of going for prostitution, we've captured them and changed their mind. They are here trying to do work, trying to get skills. Those used to steal, they are also here trying to get skills. We have been job seekers, but now we are no longer job seekers. We are job creators.
The project began in 2021 when the president brought this Emyoga. The SACCO, it has 435 members with 23 associations. When you move in the community right now, mothers, they have done a lot because they have saved and they have got money. They are educating their children. There is a difference right now before when Emyoga was introduced. For example, there is another association which saved their money. They bought a milling machine. They are earning money. Every day they are getting something for a living. They are not suffering. They are doing well. We have another association, now younger single mothers. Those girls, they dropped out of school because of that process of COVID. They end up getting pregnant. So when you try to move around, educate them, form associations so that they also benefit from this project, we got those girls. Now those girls, after teaching them, they picked an interest. When they picked an interest, we told them to begin saving. So when they saved like 1.3 something. They got their 4 million. They went and they bought an oven. They began producing cakes. They supply them to schools. They make cookies. They supply to schools. They cleared the loan, and even right now, they have saved They have their 3 million on the account as I speak.
I'm very grateful for the program of Imyoga, which was brought up by the president. It has really changed my life. Actually, I'm this girl who thought my life, maybe my future has ended there. Actually, I'd lost hope in everything. I was not earning, I was having a child, I was not getting enough, just washing clothes for people like that. So they combined us together as young girls and we made a group of 30 people together. We didn't have any knowledge about Imyoga until they had to sensitize us about what Imyoga means. So we bought the idea and we also joined the SACCO under Imyoga. So as a group of young girls who were 30, we received the 5M. We brought the idea of baking as a group because most of the people had that same idea of bringing baking on board. So we had to get a trainer who had to take us in that process of baking. We started making cakes, we started making daddies, snacks, and we started selling them. So we started with a small business of making like cakes for 500, these small ones, like a packet has 50. So if you have to make like 4 packets, we get 120 when we have used the 40,000. So when you use 40,000, which means the 80 is the profit. So as a group still we had to sit and we think a way forward of the profit we are getting out of the baking. We started the saving process as the young girls. We started our own saving and we had to divide that money equally so that everyone earns. We didn't stop there, we brought in poultry. We started rearing those birds. So those birds have now grown, they can now rear eggs, and now those eggs we use them in our baking process as some of the products. I dropped out of school thinking that maybe I could not go back, I could not access school again. But under this Imyoga, the money we get in those savings, since we are young, still those mothers had to advise us that you are getting something. Can't you be able to go back to school? Imyoga is now there, the SACCO is now there. They can give you the loan and you go back to school. As you bake, you make the profit, still you can be paying in installment. Me personally, I had to go back to school. I sat for my senior 4. Now this year I was in Form 5. Now I had to go to Form 6 just because of the Imyoga process. I'd lost hope thinking maybe my education had ended there. But when we started that thing, it had really helped me personally. Now I'm able to provide some stuff for myself. As I get that money, I can buy clothes for my kid. Myself, I can buy food for myself. So it has really helped me to reach where I am right now. And it has really been beneficial and encouraging to other people outside there. We have motivated and inspired other young girls outside there, and also telling them what we are doing is really good, and also I admire to do what? To join what we are doing. So we didn't stop there, even as we had to sensitize more groups. So 3 groups of young girls have also joined the us. So we have 4 groups, and each group having 30, 30, 30. So that's a total of 120 girls.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, good morning once again. It is Good Morning Uganda. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for being a part of the different conversations that we have been having since 6:30 in the morning. Well, my name is Olive Monica Najoma and I am your host. Now today we talk matters SACCOs, which are savings and credit organizations, credit cooperative organizations. Yes, and today the topic of discussion is sustainable and inclusive rural development through SACCOs. How are SACCOs benefiting rural communities? How are they helping them to grow and join the money economy? Now, my guests today are CPA Ivan Asimwe, who is the General Manager, Uganda Cooperative Alliance, but I also will be speaking to Mr. Abomgisha Stanley, who is the Board Chairperson, Liamjungu SACCO Kabale. I will also be speaking to Mr. Byamukama Diki, the General Manager, Liamjungu SACCO, still in Kabale. And together, we delve deeper into understanding sustainable and inclusive rural development through SACCOs. What is Liamjungu SACCO doing to uplift the people of Kabale? How is it benefiting them in terms of access to finances, fostering economic growth, among others? So join the conversation, especially if you're a person from Kabale, even if you're here in Kampala, but also if you're someone that loves to hear anything and to learn from experts when it comes to cooperatives, when it comes to SACCOs. I have experts with me today, so let's get into the conversation. Now, I will start the conversation by speaking first of all to the Board Chairperson, Liamjungu SACCO Kabale, and that is Mr. Abomgisha Stanley. Good morning, and you're welcome.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Okay. Now, quick one. This is just for me. Do you stay in Kabale?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So how was the journey coming from Kabale to Kampala?
It was tiresome.
Tiresome.
Yes,
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Is it still 6 hours?
Yeah, it is.
6 hours?
6 hours.
Exclusive or inclusive of the traffic getting to
inclusive.
Kampala? Well, I'm glad you're here and that you're safe. You're in one piece. The floods did not wash you away, the floods we had last week. So it's beautiful to have you here. Please give us a background of Liamjungu SACCO, how it started, why it was started, and what you are doing for the people of Kabale.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Good morning, viewers. Bumbucha Stanley, Board Chairman Liamjungu SACCO in the Kabale district. Now, Liamjungu started in 1984 on 16th August. It was started by 16 individuals, and it started as a village savings and loan association. Now, it started at under tree in the compound of Chizinga Primary School in the Liamjungu village, Nyakasharara Parish in Kahorosabo County. The major aim of starting this village savings and loan association can be got from the slogan the members had. The slogan was moving from heart to house, from mat to mattress. Automatically, this slogan implies that there was poverty in the area. Members could not afford buying their basic needs. They could not get loans from commercial banks. Therefore, they had to start that village savings and loan association so that they could get maybe cheaper and affordable loans from the same association. They started with a small area of operation that was one parish, Nyakasharara Parish in Kahorosabo County, and then later expanded to 3 parishes, the parish of Nyanja in Mazibasabo County, and then Barambira in Kahorosabo County. Then in 1990, Liamjungu was registered with the Register of Cooperatives as a SACCO. Then it started expanding, of course, by including 3 sub-counties of Kaharo, Chanamira, and Maziba, and then later the whole of Kabale district, and currently it covers around 10 districts. Currently, Diamujungu has more than 42,000 members and operates in the whole of Kigezi sub-region plus Ntungamo district. Last year, Diamujungu celebrated what we called Diamujungu at 40. We celebrated 40 years in August on 16th. It now has a total assets of more than 27 billion and operates 8 branches and 5 outreach centers. And most of our branches and outreach centers are in our own buildings. The SACCO head office has a very magnificent building which we are soon launching because it is almost being completed. And with this tax holiday, we are enjoying up to the year 2027 in December, I think December. Most of our sister SACCOs also have used the money they would be paying as taxes in putting up very good buildings. Diamujungu has greatly promoted sustainable and inclusive rural development by offering a number of demand-driven financial and social services.
Wow, that is quite interesting. I mean, you said you have 7 branches?
8 branches.
8 branches, and all of these are in your own buildings?
Most of them.
Most of them.
Yes.
I'll come back to you on that. But first of all, I would like to bring Mr. Ivan Asimwe into the conversation now. Mr. Ivan is passionate about SACCOs, about cooperatives. But Mr. Asimwe, first of all, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, and good morning, all our viewers.
All right, and good morning, Mr. Asimwe, once again. Now, please help us understand the core purpose of SACCOs in Uganda.
Oh, thank you so much. Ivan Asimwe, General Secretary of Uganda Cooperative Alliance. And as usual, I'm always here discussing issues of cooperatives in general, but today specifically we are discussing SACCOs. First of all, I want to thank UBC management and board for is giving us the opportunity as cooperators. Outside there, whoever is outside there, cooperator, we really need to appreciate UBC for this wonderful opportunity, because who else would give us this opportunity? Because you cannot transform an economy when people are not working together, when people don't love each other, and it is the cooperative model that really facilitates this. So ideally, SACCOs have done a lot in this country, and I want to begin by appreciating the government of the Republic of Uganda and His Excellency the President for the message that he's always putting outside there, where he's encouraging all Ugandans to belong to SACCOs. That's a very big opportunity for us as cooperators. And the government, of course, like the chairman has mentioned, the government has equally supported the cooperatives. I remember when SACCOs had issues of taxation, and the president came in and he granted us a tax waiver on all taxes on SACCOs. That was on the 30th of December 2015. I still remember. It was a very big achievement in the SACCO subsector, where the president said, no, let us remove these taxes because SACCOs are really pillars for socio-economic transformation. And then Parliament in 2017 also granted SACCOs a tax exemption of 10 years from 2017 to 2027. This is what the chairman is mentioning, that actually this one has helped them to grow their retained earnings and also the equity base. Now, ideally, what do SACCOs provide? SACCOs are savings and credit cooperative organizations. They help people to save and to access credit, and credit which is affordable and appropriate. You know, moderator, the beauty with the SACCOs is that they are closer to wananchi. They are closer to the common person. Unlike these other financial institutions that are a bit far. Even the uneducated, like he has mentioned, in 1984, these are people, these are not graduates, these are people seated in Liamjungu, in Chizinga, at a primary school, 16 people. sit down and say, why don't we work together, promote ourselves, move away from sleeping on mats? I don't know whether, moderator, you slept on a mat. For you have gone not been in Kampala. Even, by the way, even the mats were modern.
Actually,
people
mats were
started
modern.
sleeping on grass.
Yes, there was the dry grass.
Yes, dry grass.
Yes.
No, nothing, just grass. And you were comfortable, you would sleep up to morning.
And you cover yourself with a sack.
You cover yourself with a kutia, the sack, this saiso.
Yes, yes.
Then, from there, people now graduated to mats. Now, a person sleeping on a mat was a king.
Interesting.
For me, the time I went to a SACCO in 2003, people would come for mattresses because they didn't have mats. And as a SACCO, we are giving out mattresses to the extent that you will find a whole homestead. It is only one mattress for the man and the wife. The rest are just on mats.
And the neighbors would even say you've made it in life, you have a mattress.
When you are talking about SACCOs in this country, they have greatly contributed a lot, providing financial services, enabling my father, your mother, down there in the rural area also to have an account in a bank, which was not there. Because they would even fear going to these commercial banks. You remember these commercial banks, you enter, there are glasses, you don't know English, you don't know how to write.
Much English.
But now in rural areas, even an old woman or man will go and deposit the little money that he has. Secondly, it is closer to the rural communities. Because these other financial institutions are in urban centers. But these ones, the Yamushung is deep there in the village. I was there to attend the IGM. Deep there in the village. And even these branches of theirs are not in the towns. They are deeper there because they are targeting the small holders. Another thing, they are supporting people with household equipment. Mattresses, blankets, saucepans, cups, chairs, all that. Sadly, they are supporting the young people, the youth. I remember when I was a general manager, and I've seen it in Ryamujunga and the other SACCOs, they are giving motorcycle loans to the youth. Now, these youth have been unemployed, but at least now, when they get these motorcycles, they are able to make some money and make a living. They have provided school fees for people. When you go down there, now in rural areas, parents are able to send their children to school because they can easily access school fees. Medication, they have emergency loans. If today you are here in the city and you hear your child is sick and has been sent away from school, you don't have money. What do? You can't even go to a commercial bank to start the process of getting a loan. But if you're a member of a SACCO, it is easy because they have emergency loans, which they can even process in hours.
Without collateral?
Without collateral, without anything. Because you're a member, they know you. You are just next to the SACCO.
Okay.
Immediately you get money and you are able to take your child for medication. Then inputs, they are supplying inputs to farmers. I have seen some SACCOs which have input shops where you can easily get acaricides, you can get fertilizers, you can get whatever. They are supporting during the construction of houses. There is that loan product for acquiring a house, where now moderator, they come, they look at what the type and the size of house you want. You come up with your bills of quantities, they give you the money, you construct, and then you start paying slowly. So there are so many services and products that the SACCOs are giving. But the beauty is these SACCOs understand the people better because these are their members. These SACCOs are closer to the people. These SACCOs are affordable. Their loans are affordable. And above all, people can buy shares. These are their own. They own these institutions. Like I was for their AGM, where they are declaring dividends. So even my father down there can actually get a benefit as a dividend, which is not there in other financial institutions. So it is a lot that SACCOs are really providing the country. And I really want to thank the government that, having looked at the benefits of SACCOs, the government has really put in a lot of effort in ensuring in supporting the cooperative growth in this country.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Ivan Asimwe. Now, if you're just joining the conversation, today we are looking into sustainable and inclusive rural development through SACCOs. And I am speaking to none other than Ivan Asimwe, who is the General Secretary, Uganda Cooperative Alliance. But also, I'm speaking to two gentlemen from a SACCO in Kabale, and that is Mr. Mugisha Stanley, who is the board chairperson, Liamjung SACCO Kabale. Also, I am speaking to Mr. Kamadik, who is the General Manager, Liamjung SACCO in Kabale. Now, Mr. Kama, I'm coming to you. First of all, welcome to the show. Good morning. How are you? How was your journey?
Thank you, moderator. My name is Dick Kama. I work for Liamjung Cooperative Financial Services as the General Manager.
Yes.
I'm glad to be hosted in this broadcast house, and I thank CPA General Secretary Asim Ivan for leading us to this place. The topic for discussion is sustainable and inclusive rural development through SACCOs.
Yes.
And I must confess, SACCOs have done a wonderful job in the country. So far, we have over 45,000 duly registered SACCOs. That is 45,000 over, which includes the myogas, includes the PDMs, and the traditional SACCOs like Liamjungo itself here in Kabale. For the PDM, I think it has added more spices because when services are brought closer to the members, especially in parishes, then it's a good thing. Like CPA Ivan was mentioning, the uniqueness of SACCOs is that we work with people at the grassroots. The people we know, the people we dine and eat with. So generally, we find it very, very important to bridge the financial inclusiveness, especially for my mother, my uncle down there in the rural areas who wouldn't have the opportunity to go to the traditional banks.
Okay, now, Mr. Kama, that's where I come in. Please help us understand how SACCOs help rural populations access financial services as compared to, to other financial institutions like banks.
Thank you so much. Like you clearly hear the name SACCO, which is an acronym for Savings and Credit Cooperative Organizations. It means these SACCOs are down the grassroots where they are near to the people and give them services in areas they can easily reach. And good enough, even where the areas are a bit farther, SACCOs have also adopted technology. For instance, our members can use their phone sets to access the deposits and withdrawals. So such transactions are now possible.
You don't have to trek many kilometers to go to the nearest SACCO branch.
That's right, which was a preserve initially for the traditional banks.
When you are seated here, you can transact.
You can transact.
You can deposit your money on the SACCO and even withdraw.
That's right. And SACCOs have bridged that gap, especially where the unbanked, the levels of unbanked members, I mean members of the public, and the underbanked are now happier because they get the services. And also, since the SACCOs emphasize the membership training as part of the 7 cooperative principles, membership education, sensitization and information, that means our members down there now have all the knowledge about what SACCOs can offer to them. In this case, SACCOs, members use it to keep their money. under their beds, in horns, under pillow mattress, under mattresses, under pillows. But it's no longer the case, because we have tried to reach out to members of the public, with them to come to us at the SACCOs and benefit from the services we offer.
Okay.
When I mention savings, definitely it is followed by credit in most cases, but sometimes members of the public call us. They give us a phone call and ask, "Manager, I need a loan. I need a loan. How best can I access it?" But for us as SACCOs, we try to emphasize adopting the saving culture first. It is supposed to be saving and then credit later.
So don't just come to the SACCO because you want a loan. Come to us because you want to save first, and then later we can extend you
That's right.
a loan.
That's right.
Okay.
So apart from the saving and credit, there are quite a number of other benefits that members gain from SACCOs.
Okay.
And in this case, like Lyamzungu itself, we give custodial service, custodial services for members' variables. I'm talking about keeping their land titles, if at all they have them, that is, keeping them their important documents, perhaps the education certificates. So we keep them for them, and at a concessional fee.
Oh, there is a fee attached.
Yeah. There is a fee at the end of there, which is 2,000 shillings.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough, I think.
Yeah.
Good deal. For the savings, we try to give them interest on whatever they are keeping with us in the SACCO. And beautiful interest, because in this case I'm talking about 10% per annum for the ordinary savings. I'm talking about 12% per annum for the fixed savings.
Oh, so you also have fixed deposits?
Oh yes, oh yes. And maybe something also unique, especially for the Mzungu version, is that we have gone an extra inch. We give, we offer what we call young savers product. We reach out to schools and meet with the students or pupils in their respective schools. We try to teach them the benefits of adopting saving culture at an early age. We inculcate the saving culture among the children. The research we did was that if you give out like 1,000 shillings to a young kid, the immediate thing he thinks of is to go and make some purchase of either a soda or a bun from a nearby trading center.
And the girls will go and buy some clothes.
That's
and
right.
Some shoes.
That's right. So we'd want to change the story.
Okay.
And it has worked very well, because in most of the schools in our area of operation, those young savers clubs are in existence.
Okay, before you continue, please talk to us about the image that we are seeing on screen right now.
Thank you, moderator. First and foremost, we can see our logo, signpost on the left. And then behind there, that is the new magnificent building of the SACCO, the Lyamzungu SACCO headquarters in Kizinga, in a place called Lyamzungu. Lyamzungu does not necessarily mean that we work with Bazungu, not at all.
What does it mean?
It is the name of the village where the SACCO started from.
Okay.
And
that's beautiful.
We have tried to construct this building to appreciate that this is the head office located where the SACCO started from. So, and members are very excited. They are very happy. And I think it's a good thing.
Okay.
The last time I checked, members trust you with their savings when they can see, when they are attracted even by the outlook of the building.
Okay. Thank you so much,
just
Mr.
to make
Lyamukama.
just to rejoin the moderator, you can now see the story. From 1984,
40
when
years ago.
16 people are seated under a tree,
To this.
they hatch or they initiate something, a VSLA, which becomes a SACCO and registered in 1990, supported by Uganda Cooperative Alliance. Now they have reached to that storied building. So you can really see the story. That is rural transformation.
This
supporting
actually,
the young people, these children in the primary school.
This would convince anyone to join a SACCO,
That's
to
right.
save with a SACCO, and to come back for a loan.
Right.
And I remember when I was for the IGM, and these among these people who started, they are still there. So they gave testimonies, and they were very happy, looking at, you know, an old woman saying that even if I died today, my dream has been realized.
Wow.
This is what I wanted to see before I die.
Right.
This is something very good to a community.
It is very good to a community. So are you part of a SACCO? Where you work, are you part of the SACCO? Because we have these conversations, and some people are under the impression that to be part of a SACCO, you need to be probably from the blue-collar sector. But no, there are SACCOs in banks, there are SACCOs in the media, there are SACCOs in different sectors of the economy. So you see that these rural people are achieving so much, and their results, you can see the results. I am Mjungu SACCO in Kabale, and also I am speaking to Mr. Byamuka Madik, who is the general manager, the Mjungu SACCO, still in Kabale. He's been telling us about what they've done. I like the idea of saving groups or saving clubs in schools where our young children are being taught how to save from a very young age, because let's face it, we have universities churning out students every other year. Some get the jobs, but when they get the jobs, where do they spend the money? Maybe in a bus somewhere, maybe buying some shoes, maybe on different things that are not developmental. What if we started the conversation on saving for young people, but also for rural people, and also for those that are in the corporate organizations right now? This is why we are having this conversation. Please join the conversation on WhatsApp number 0709-602-592. Send in your queries. The gentleman here will answer. If you're in Kabale and you want to join the Mjungu SACCO, this is your time to actually ask whatever questions you may have for the gentleman. But also, if you have a question on cooperatives and SACCOs to Mr. Ivan Asimwe, please go right ahead. The number is displayed on your screen, and again it is 0709-602-592. Now, coming back to you, Mr. Abomujisha, as the board chairperson, please tell us, and you've been here, I believe, for quite some time, and I know that right now with what Mr. Byamuka has shared, there are people who are already asking, probably they're hearing about the SACCO for the first time, or they've been saying it, but they've been doubting Thomas's. But now we have seen some of the results from the savings. Okay, so what are the requirements for joining your SACCO, and how affordable is it for the average rural resident?
Okay, thank you, moderator. Maybe before that, there is one interesting service the general manager has not mentioned. The board, in its wisdom, thought about our members, especially the grown-ups. We are aware employees, for example, the employees of UBC, you save with NSSF. At the age of 55, you get your savings and enjoy your old age.
Actually, now we even get midterm benefits. At the age of 45, you get some money.
20%.
Yes.
And then government employees also get their gratuity at the age of 60.
Yes.
But then we have members who are not employed. For example, the traders, the farmers, the border borders, and others. They don't save with any organization. So the Mjungu started what we call old age savings product.
Wow. Okay.
We encourage our members to save. For example, if a member has an account, maybe account 88, we have account 88A and then account 88B. B is saving for old age.
Pension, it's like your pension, it's like your
pension.
gratuity.
Someone who is less than 50 years can start saving with Muzungu. Then at the age of 55, he or she can withdraw his savings, his or her savings. Then the Muzungu gives an interest rate of 14% per annum. That's to encourage our members to save with that product. It has attracted a very big number of members. Members are very happy. They are saving for their old age.
That's beautiful.
Then back to your question.
Actually, before we go back to my question, yes, with these savings, I see that you are handling huge sums of money because the communities, like the people from the community are many. Commercial banks are regulated by the Bank of Uganda. Who regulates SACCOs, and how do people ensure that all this money, because if I'm 30 and I'm starting to save for old age with the Mzungu, how sure am I that my money is safe?
Okay. Now, SACCOs have a number of regulators. Some are supposed to be regulated by Bank of Uganda, especially those with share capital of 1.5 billion and savings of 1 billion. Those are supposed to be regulated by Bank of Uganda.
Okay.
Then
so Wazalendo is regulated by Bank of Uganda because their share capital is huge.
Then there are others which are regulated by UMRA, Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority.
Okay.
And then those which are regulated by the Register of Cooperatives.
Okay.
So we have a number of regulators, but we are fighting very hard to get a single regulator.
Yes, like commercial banks. Everyone knows we are under one docket, one umbrella, and we answer to this one. Okay.
So with the trust we have instilled in our members, members are confident that their savings will be kept safely by the Mzungu. They will keep getting the interest on a yearly basis, but then withdrawing is done at the age of 55.
And you're strict on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless otherwise.
Unless otherwise.
Yes.
Okay.
So back to the other question.
Yes.
The Mzungu, in order to attract many people, we have to some extent eased the way of entering. Just entering the Mzungu, you pay 10,000 as membership fee.
Okay.
Just that.
Is it annual?
No.
That
paid
is
once.
Once.
Yeah,
okay.
You pay 10,000 as membership fee. Then you buy any number of shares you want. Each share is 10,000. Then you save an amount, beginning with 2,000. Yes.
Okay. Maybe the other question, Mr. Abomjisha, do I have to reside in any town, village in Kabale for me to be a part of Mzungu SACCO?
Yeah, according to our bylaws, we have our area of operation.
Okay.
As I said, it includes the whole of Kigezi sub-region and then in Tongamo district. If you are originating from that area of operation, or if you are working there, you might be maybe a Muganda from Uganda here, but you work in Kabale. Yeah, you are free to join the Mzungu.
So if I'm from that area, sorry to cut you short, if I'm from that area, I work at UBC in Kampala, I can join.
Yes. Very much. So we have a number of members in Kampala here. And every year we meet them. We have regional meetings before the AGM. Kampala is one of the regions. We usually meet them here. Give them a number of tips in financial literacy and what is expected of them.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I have a few views coming through from some of our viewers here. And the first one is from James Tumwine. He says cooperatives, SACCOs would be better avenues of developing the local society, but it's the policies, laws or bylaws, their policies or bylaws are not applied as required due to some tendencies of corruption by cooperative committees conspiring with some leaders from the regulating agencies. A positive solution to that is seriously needed. Now, Mr. Byamkama, I'll come to you for an answer, a reaction to that.
if it comes, if it involves the regulation.
Is there something here when
Yes.
he says there are corruption tendencies as a result of cooperative committees conspiring with leaders of regulating bodies?
Moderator, I can respond to that. Thank you so much, our viewers.
James Tumwine.
Yes, James Tumwine, thank you so much for your question. And this is why such a group is here. To really sensitize the general public. You are very right, in some SACCOs and cooperatives, such tendencies are there. To the extent that you find the committee members and even management mismanaging members' funds. It is there. But now we want Ugandans to learn from such examples. What is it that Lyamujungu has done in order for it to reach this far? It's because of excellent governance and management. So our viewers, if we are to make our SACCOs better, we need better governance and management. We need to make sure that we comply with the legal, regulatory, and policy framework. This is the way to go.
Okay, thank you so much.
In addition to that, the cooperative is member-founded, member-owned, member-controlled, and benefits members. So it is not controlled by the committee, as James Tumwine said.
Okay.
It is controlled by members.
So
Members have
is it
control
the
over
members
the
that-
committee. Anytime they can elect another committee and remove the other one.
All right. Probably the members need more sensitization to know their rights, to know that they actually, there is power in the members than in the committee.
Yes.
Okay, so the next comment, you didn't leave your name. Please, when you write, leave us your name and where you're texting from. This one says, good morning, cooperators. General question, do you do cooperative alliances, does the Cooperative Alliance organize trainings to educate managers and leaders of cooperatives? That is question one. Mr. Samuel, you'll answer that. And he has a second question. What is the minimum level of education for someone to be a manager of a cooperative?
Okay, thank you so much, still our viewers. I want to thank you for your participation. First of all, what does UCA do in terms of trainings? It is among our mandates. Mandate number one of Uganda Cooperative Alliance is capacity building. And under capacity building, there is training, support to policy formulation, implementation, and compliance. And yes, we do a lot of capacity building trainings for managers and leaders of these cooperatives. As I speak, even next week, we will be in actually sub-region to train. The other training part of it is what we do here at UBC.
That's
every
right.
week,
Yes.
which is very fantastic. I want to call upon all cooperators outside there. Every Wednesday, 8 to 9, don't go to the garden. Sit and watch and listen, because this is part of what we do.
Yes.
Now, concerning the qualifications for a manager of a SACCO, it depends on the policies of the SACCO. Because there is no yardstick that you must have this qualification.
Yes.
Each SACCO has its own human resource policy, so they follow their human resource policies.
Because what works for a SACCO
But
of
of
judges
course,
will
we
not work for a SACCO of doctors.
emphasize qualified and skilled managers that are able to transform their SACCOs.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Simwe. Now, the next comment is from Mokoli Bosco. He says, thank you for the program. I'm here in Manafwa district, but I have never heard about this, what you're explaining. That is, he says UCA, that is Uganda Cooperative Alliance. He has never heard of what you do. I want to farm, but I don't have any support from the cooperative. There are no extension workers to advise farmers in the modern farming. I think that is implemented in the Western region. Uganda Cooperative Alliance is not doing enough to let us know on the grassroots, like in Manafwa district.
Oh, thank you so much once again. You know, that's why I was saying that people need to, like every week, if you can have these programs and you really follow. But beyond that, we work with the commercial officers. We have trained the commercial officers across the country, and we expect them now to go downstream and support these people. Of course, Uganda Cooperative Alliance does not have the financial muscle to reach out to each and every person. That's why we go through such structures like Lyamujungu. Lyamujungu, which is spread within Kigezi, Ankole, Kampala, and other areas. So when we have such a training, then the training cascades downstream. So we are very sorry that the one who has sent in a message,
Mokoli from Manafa.
Yes, Mokoli from Manafa, we are very sorry that we haven't reached out to you, but endeavor to follow these programs, endeavor to attend some of these training programs organized by cooperatives, so that you can easily get to know what it takes for you to be a cooperator.
Okay, and I think for more information, you can always check out the Uganda Cooperative Alliance website.
Yes,
and,
yes, true. True.
Now, the next one is from Joshua Birungi from Bukinda, Ruchiga district. He says, good morning, Uganda. Cooperatives have done a great job towards the development of Uganda's economy, in particular, Lyamujungu SACCO, like Mr. Stanley was educating us how to save with SACCOs at Nyabiririma Church of Uganda. So that one is coming in to give you your flowers.
Yeah, sure.
And the next one is from Atwonjeire Rogers in Barara, and he says, good morning, Uganda. Thank you, moderator. I'm asking the board of Lyamujungu SACCO, what criteria do they consider to open a branch in an area? And he said, in Barara, we need a branch. Chairman, who wants to answer? Either of you can.
Yeah, I would first of all thank that gentleman from Barara. In the first place, we are not very much interested in setting as many branches as possible because of some other factors, especially the cost implication. For this question, what do we consider before we set a branch? If we have many members from that area, we first evaluate how many savers, how much in the total portfolio for savings, how about loan portfolio, and then for the interest generated, then we decide, basing on various calculations to confirm if it is viable to have a branch in a specific place.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
For example, we have a number of members in the Kampala here. They are saving with Lyamujungu. They are getting loans. So far, we have more than 1 billion shillings in the Kampala here in form of loan portfolio. So anytime we are thinking about
Kampala branch.
Yes.
I think that would be viable because
and maybe because of digitization, like they have explained, even if you are based in Mbarara, you can actually transact. You can use your mobile phone to either deposit or withdraw, and even they have moved the extent of even making an application digitally, so that you don't need to go the other side. You come back like that. So because of digitization,
that's where I was coming to
you don't need to really to physically have branches everywhere, but you can transact digitally.
So if I need a loan from Lyamujungu, I'm a member, and I'm in Kampala, I'm based in Jinja, in any part of the country, but I am a member of Lyamujungu, I'm saving, I don't need to travel to Kabale to get the loan. I can apply online.
It's possible you can apply online.
Okay.
But recently we had some technical hiccups, which are being sorted by our service providers. But I think that's the way to go.
Okay.
So apparently they have to travel.
Right now?
Right now.
Okay.
But we are going there.
All right. And then Captain Chitakamayanja in Chivoga says, it's amazing. It's amazing. I have liked this conversation. I wish people from Central Region could learn from this SACCO. And he said, one day I'm going to visit Liamjungu. Then Amot Jr., this is Apostle Jr. from Kamocha, says, good morning UBC TV. I'm Apostle Jr. from Kamocha. Now my question is, I'm a saloonist or a saloon operator. How can I do savings with those people? I think it means the Liamjungu SACCO, and know that my money is safe because I earn and save daily. Yeah.
I think
probably
yes.
It could be. So he's in Kampala. He's a Moti. I don't know if he really comes from some of the areas where you're situated, but I think this question is diverse. Many people have this question. I earn and save daily, so how can I be a part of it? How do I join? Do I join online? Do I have to come to Kabale? I think you touched it earlier, but you can still clarify.
Thank you so much. As long as the person asking is eligible, that is if he's from the area of operation, then he or she is free to be registered as a SACCO member.
Okay.
In case he's eligible, there are different options of how he can become part of the Liamjungu family. One, we have sales agents based here in Kampala. So he can reach out to them.
How does he do that? How does he identify them?
We have saturated the contacts of the agents, so they can access the contacts of that agent and then start from there.
Where does he find these contacts? Do you have a web? Are they
We
on
have
a
a website, yes.
Okay.
We have a website, and we have created various WhatsApp groups for members where we share information. So it's very possible.
Okay, thank you so much. And then Alan from Kabale says, the Liamjungu SACCO has surely transformed many lives with cheapest loan interest rates. We have got success stories to tell. And then to Mihimbise watching from Bale says, mine is to thank you for the work that you do. And Orobia Moses from Arua City says, I would like to know the necessary steps for the VSLA. How can it be easily formed into a SACCO? That question I think will be yours, Mr. Simwe.
Okay.
What is a VSLA?
Oh, thank you so much, our viewers. He's from?
He's from Arua City.
Oh, our friend from Arua City. Thank you so much. Like you have heard the story of Liamjungu, a VSLA is a village savings and loan association. Some people call them niginas, where people come together, they start saving, they start getting loans informally, but within their group. Then eventually you register it and it becomes formal. So the story is really very good. And most of these bigger SACCOs you see that were supported by Uganda Cooperative Alliance in 1990s, they all started as village savings and loan associations. Why? When the association is already there up and running, already people have a bond. And they build on that bond to move faster than starting afresh. So it is very possible that you can transform from that level of a village savings and loan association, which is informal, have it formalized, have it as a SACCO, and then you are able to reach the level of Liamjungu.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Simwe. Now, the last comment is from Kamagara Anita. She says, we appreciate the development that Liamjungu SACCO has rendered to people of Chigezi, Ntungamo, and Uganda at large. A journey to prosperity. I like the slogan. This is Kamagara Anita from...
Thank you, Anita.
Yes, thank you, Anita, and thank you, everyone that has contributed to this conversation. Now, Chairman, please, let's have your parting remarks to the people of Uganda, the people of Kabale, regarding financial inclusion in rural areas.
Yeah, as part of the parting remarks, in order to have sustainable and inclusive rural development through SACCOs, the government should develop a mandatory savings policy. We don't have that policy in Uganda. So if it could be developed, whereby every adult must save a certain percentage of his or her income, it would be better, and we would fight poverty in that way. Then secondly, we have these PDM SACCOs. If they are to qualify to be called SACCOs, they should have a component of saving, because SACCOs are supposed to save, and borrow. But then for the PDM SACCOs, there isn't that component of a saving. They just wait for government money. So the government should try by all means and make these PDM SACCOs save either on a monthly basis or quarterly basis or annual basis, but not waiting for the government funds.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chairperson Lyamujungu SACCO, Mr. Abumujisha Stanley. Now, Mr. Byamukamadik.
Yes, please.
As the General Manager for the SACCO, please share with us your parting remarks.
Thank you so much. And I want to thank our viewers for participating by making comments. As SACCOs, I think it's the way to go to transform the economy. We are discussing about the plight of the marginalized groups. For instance, the youth who may not have the collateral, and the women who normally don't have the collateral. But in our case as SACCOs, we come in to bridge that gap. We give out loans to such groups even without collateral. Therefore, SACCOs are really doing a wonderful job compared to other traditional banks.
Okay.
I would want to end by saluting UBC TV for hosting us, and CPA Asim Ivan, General Secretary UCA, and UCA generally for all the accomplishments they have done with the SACCOs generally. So I would also want to salute the partners in development, and in this case I cannot fail to mention MasterCard Foundation through FSD Uganda, who have assisted SACCOs through interventions and especially giving interest-free loans to SACCOs so they can roll them down to members.
Thank you so much, Mr. Byamukama. Mr. Asimwe, in a few seconds, your
thank
parting
you so
remarks.
much. First of all, I'm delighted once again to be here. I want to thank UBC for hosting us. I want to thank all our viewers for your participation. I want to thank Lyamujungu SACCO for coming here very early this morning to share this good news with Ugandans, because sometimes when you talk about SACCOs, some people tend to think that are they there really? And when you talk about these bigger SACCOs, they think of Wazalendo, Exodus, such things. Those are institutional SACCOs. They have not been aware that we have very strong rural-based SACCOs. So Lyamujungu is the best example. I really want to thank everyone. I want to call upon every Ugandan, women, youth, men, people with disabilities, and everybody. Let us all join SACCOs for socio-economic transformation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ivan Asimwe. We've been looking at sustainable and inclusive rural development through SACCOs. My name is Olive, and our conversation ends right here. Up next is Good Morning Uganda Extra with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintona. Stick around.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks could be Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your